Are you looking to harness the power of AI to transform your business and marketing strategies? On today's episode, we'll explore how actionable AI prompting can revolutionize your approach to business growth and efficiency. I'm Devin Herz. Welcome to the DMC Marketing Nugget.
Now, welcome your host with the Daily Nugget Dose, Devin Herz.
My guest today is Jonathan Mast, a pioneering expert in AI prompting and the founder of White Beard Strategies. You can check it out right there. Jonathan is a visionary digital innovator, helping entrepreneurs and businesses unlock the true potential of AI for marketing operations and overall growth. Awesome to have you here, Jonathan. Welcome to the DMC Nugget, man.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to have a conversation.
AI is awesome if used correctly, and we are harnessing
Yes.
power every way that we possibly can. But on this show, I thirst the knowledge. I love having our guests on here because we have so many great tips and strategies that business owners, marketers out there can implement into their business. Let me kick things off and give me some insight on how you got started in this AI version of marketing and business growth.
No, I'll be happy to. Well, I spent most of my career in the digital sales and digital marketing world. That's kind of my background, and have just, yeah, always loved the marketing aspect. When ChatGPT in 2022 came out with an interface that gave us kind of easy access to AI, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing what we can do. I am an ADD entrepreneur, so it really resonated with me and allowed me to get more stuff done. And it only took a few months, and I'm like, you know what? The agency that I've been running for the last 15 years is great, but I'm ready for something new, and this is it. And so we decided. I went with my leadership team. They said, "Hey, look, we don't need you here anyway." They were nice about it, but they're like, "You're that visionary entrepreneur that's now causing us more problems than not. So go, please leave." And I did. Started focusing on just my goal, really, more than anything else, I guess, Devin. I want to help people understand that AI is very approachable and that anybody can use it to save time and, from a business perspective, increase profits and deliver more value to the clients. And to me, I'm 55, first time in my life we've ever been able to do all three of those at the same time. I mean, literally save time, make more money, and give more value to our clients. And it's like, well, that's the trifecta. We got to do that.
It's so cool, and I think there's definitely people out there that are scared about it. They're talking negative about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely ways that this could be negative on people's business, jobs. I get it. But at the same time, if you learn to harness the power of AI, it should only enhance what you're doing ultimately. So let's go ahead and dig into some of these items that I want to hit on. Um,
Sure.
I mean, every day we're finding new programs, new apps. It's evolving so rapidly, and businesses are just trying to figure out how the heck do we even implement this effectively. So I was just curious on what are some of the biggest misconceptions that companies have about AI and marketing and overall operations these days?
I think, probably one of the biggest is that if they implement AI, they're going to be able to get rid of all their team. So many people are like, "Hey, can I just replace my team?" No, you can't. AI is a great amplifier. It amplifies skill and experience. Will there be some team members that maybe you need to reorganize or that may actually get displaced? Yeah, it's going to happen, but it's not going to be this massive wave that the naysayers are predicting that, oh my gosh, we're all going to lose our jobs. We're not going to have anything to do. It's interesting. I'm a bit of a student buff or a history buff, and the same concepts were floated when the internal combustion engine came out. That, oh my gosh, no, we're not going to have any work to do. Similar fears came out when the printing press came out, long before that. Then when the internet came out, and I remember when I was getting in. I'm probably a bit older than you are, but I remember when I was getting the workforce, they were putting PCs on desktops for the first time, and people said the same thing. Oh my gosh, we're not going to have any jobs. Nobody's going to need to be working anymore. Now, there's still going to be lots of work. In fact, there's going to be more work, but it's going to probably change a bit. I think the other part is that AI is complicated. So a lot of businesses look at it and go, I don't know where to start. Like you mentioned, there's new tools coming out every day, literally, and people are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. The reality is that whatever AI tool you have on your desktop or your laptop or your phone today can make such dramatic differences for your business that you don't need to worry about finding the perfect tool because that perfect tool doesn't exist. If you're using Google, you've got access to Gemini. If you're using Microsoft, you've got access to Copilot. If not, you've got access to ChatGPT. Are they all the same? Not quite, but they're all good and they all can help us make monumental leaps in productivity. And in my mind, that's where I want to encourage everybody is let's first focus on let's take that 80% gain we can get from 20% of the work. And then once we've done that, which we're a long ways from doing, then we can try to figure out what's the perfect model and the perfect tool. But let's do something today that saves time and money.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many tasks. I mean, even before AI, it's trying to figure out as a CEO of a business, what can you delegate out? What are the things that you need to be focusing on best and most spending most of your time on? And now some of those things can be enhanced. And even when you're training your team members, part of that training should be AI this day and age. And we've been running through some tests here of, yeah, I mean, it used to take hours to write a blog back in the day.
Oh
Now
yeah.
it's going to be shortening that time so we can be more efficient. We should be able to have more scalability in our business. So it's like they need to be able to understand that fact of, hey, this is only going to enhance my work. And if I'm bringing things to the table too, everyone should be a student and learning how these things work to better their business. And now you've been at the forefront for AI for quite some time now. Um, as far as prompting goes, how do you go about delivering measurable success for a company when it comes to the overall AI prompting side of things?
Great question. Well, like any relationship, certainly I probably need to be. AI is not sentient. It's not trying to do good or bad. It's just a tool. But anytime we're working with a tool, we need to, one way or another, communicate with it. Sometimes by turning the air blue, if it's me in a small engine. But if it's AI, how we communicate with it, the way that we ask it questions makes a difference in how it responds. And it's not about us being nice to it or not, but it's a natural language model. And so the words that we use, the order in which we use those words does make a difference in how it responds. The good news is it's not hard. It's not something that requires, it's not like me learning how to communicate properly with my wife. That can be hard, but
That's
it's not. I'm sorry, if you're a married man, you know what I mean. If you're a married woman, you probably know what I mean. But when it comes to AI, that's not the case. We simply need to follow a simple framework. And when we do that, it's really very similar, Devin, as though if you and I were working on a project. If you and I, let's say we're in the old days when we had offices and you and I are in a cubicles and I walk up and let's say you're great at writing press releases and I go, hey, Devin, I need you to write a press release for me. And you go, great, Jonathan, no problem. I got a couple questions. And I turn around and walk away and I don't give you any more information. It doesn't matter how good you are at writing press releases. Whatever you end up writing is not going to be what I had anticipated because I didn't give you any information.
correct.
But we assume with AI so often that we can go, well, write me a press release. And then it does. And it's like, well, that was crap. That's no good.
Yep.
And it's because we didn't give it any relevant context and any information. Or in my case, as an ADD guy, sometimes I get in a hurry and I forget to give it relevant stuff that it needs. And so what we recommend is really simple. Just one, give it context, just like you would if you were working with a fellow coworker. And then at the end, be polite. Not that you have to be polite to AI, but it's kind of the way our mind works and say, what questions can I answer? Because the AI knows if I'm asking to write a press release, it knows it needs to understand audience and what we're trying to say and what's the message we want to get and probably a bunch of things I'm forgetting. But if I go to ChatGPT or any of the tools and go, I need the press release, it should be about this, and I forgot the audience, for example, and I end with, ask me any questions you have, it'll go, oh, by the way, Jonathan, who's the audience this is for? And then all of a sudden, the response that I get is monumentally better.
Yeah, I mean, you're using AI to perfect your overall prompts. I mean, that's what's amazing. And then asking them, having AI ask you the questions that it needs to really give you a better answer. And I've seen that time and time again is that, hey, we're not just putting in, hey, build me a marketing strategy. It's what's in here that we've used for 30 years to build marketing strategies that I'm putting into a prompt to really speak
Yes.
my language, my knowledge, and then tied in with AI is where it gets that thing done. Because to me, to back in the day to type out a full proposal and have all the things in there that I needed and forget. It's overwhelming for me to even think about doing that now these days. Now I can take it, put in some very in-depth information and strategies that I know that we're sticking to that adhere to our capabilities and what we want, and then using that as the prompt to drive it forward. And like you're saying, is like, what did I miss? Are there any other questions that you have
Yeah.
to make this even better? Then taking that, what it spits out, and saying, hey, now improve this. Give me 5 versions of this. You can always build on it. And people think it's very easy. It's not. You have to really understand how to use AI, and then even taking that into where we're doing AI videos and graphics as a whole nother world. And same thing, I think
Oh
there are
yeah.
people out there that think, oh, just drop in a prompt, make me a commercial. Bullshit. It takes
Thank you. Yes.
knowledge of design, getting someone to look consistent. We just did a project where it was a cheetah businessman, and all of a sudden he's got cheetah hands in 1 minute. The next frame, he's got human hands, and then cheetah hands. Now, it took us an hour, a couple hours to really perfect that to where we can get it to where it was consistent throughout. So there's all those things to really make sure that you're doing this and using the prompts the best way possible and harnessing the different programs to get to your end result. Um, Adopting into this new world of AI, where the heck do we start? I mean, as far as a business owner, they're probably trying to run their business. Now they got to learn new things, teach new things. What do you feel that a business owner can do today to integrate AI into their strategies without getting overwhelmed?
I think, what if you're starting, the key is don't try to do everything at once and don't try to hit perfection day one. Start by taking something that you're doing on a regular basis that takes longer than you wish it did. For me and for many business owners, I think that's email. We all still get a lot of email, and there's some of those emails that we really do need to think about responding to. Or maybe we're just not quite sure the best way to write. I actually just had one of these. We've got somebody trying to buy a bunch of our courses through our online portal, and I noticed that literally every time they're trying a different credit card. So I had to reach out to Stripe and go, hey, by the way, guys, just this is fraudulent. Something's not right here. I'm not sure how to write that email perfectly because you know what? I've never had to write an email to Stripe support to report what I think is suspected fraudulent activity. So instead, I went to ChatGPT and I just said, hey, we've got this guy. He's literally making like 50 inquiries an hour. Every one of them's a different credit card. I'm sure it's fraudulent. I want to notify Stripe. How help me write this? And oh, by the way, help me write it in a way that I'll have documentation that I can prove down the road that I notified Stripe that this happened, just in case somebody ever questions it. Literally in about 5 seconds, I had a really well-written email, had all the relevant information that I'd given it that it needed, and I didn't need to spend 10 to 15 minutes thinking about, okay, how do I want to say this? Because I want to make sure I'm candidly mitigating my liability. I don't want to be liable for what this guy's trying to do. And that's 15 minutes. So I saved 10 minutes right there. Most of us as business owners are doing something like that a few times a day. And so to get started with, again, let's not focus on saving 4 hours or having it manage my entire email system for me, but let's take some of those hard emails and have ChatGPT help write it because it can save a lot of time. Then do that for a week or so. And all of a sudden, you're going to start thinking of other ways and going, hang on, it worked there. I wonder if it'd work here. Oh my gosh, it worked there too. Then after about a week or two of doing it, then bring your leadership team and your key employees in and start sharing a couple things you did and encouraging them to do the same thing. One new thing a day. Just have AI help you with one new thing a day. At the end of a month to 45 days, as you roll it out to your team and everything else, you're going to have saved a tremendous amount of time. Because it's one thing for me to save a half-hour a day, but what if I could take my 10 employees, or in my case, my 5 employees, and have all of them save 30 to 60 minutes a day? Now that's just extra time. Nobody's got more time than they do tasks. Now we can make life better.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, making it easier for business owners, your coworkers, your team overall. And I mean, I'm amazed almost on a daily basis on what can be done with AI. I'm a marketer. I'm not necessarily the best with finances and books. You can ask my wife
Hmm.
that as well. That's why she handles it.
Ditto.
Great job with it. However, to look at a profit and loss and get a high level diagnosis of what that means to us, we'd have to go to an accountant, another consultant, all those things. And yes, we still have that for the bigger things, but if we want to get a quick synopsis of what's going on in our business today, I literally was able to download that report,
Yep.
upload that report as a resource into my AI system that I use. And now all of a sudden it's taking my profit and loss and spelling it out for me so I can understand what the heck I'm looking at, where we have
Yes.
efficiencies, where we're doing well. And now I can take that knowledge back to my team. I can look at changing our business model a little bit to make sure we're working on things that are more profitable. So it doesn't just stop with the content writing, it really can be
Oh,
somewhat of a
so much more.
yeah, so much more on that end of things. So I just I love it. I think it's great. It definitely is scary to see where this ends up being because yeah, it's going to replace certain things, but I don't care what business you're in, whether it be restaurants, nightclubs, consulting, marketing, video, you got to evolve. I mean, that's what business is. Things
100%.
are going to change. If you don't evolve, that's when you're going to die. So I would say that learning this, paying attention, following Jonathan, all the things that he's putting out there, following our nuggets, you're going to learn a lot of things here that can make your life better, make your business better, and hopefully make you more money. So I think as business owners, we love that. So that's a great nuggets there that you're sharing with us. Um, I think oftentimes we look at AI as a tool for automation. I know from what I've researched from you that you look at it more as a strategic impact and then how businesses can use AI to not just automate some of the tasks that they're doing, but driving meaningful customer engagement and decision making. So, if you don't mind providing some examples of how you really are driving engagement and that decision making process by using AI.
No, I'd be happy to. I mean, we've all heard of the bots and all that. And, one of the most common questions I get from business owners, can I replace my sales team with AI? Not today, probably not ever, because my belief, and maybe it's because I'm old, is the fact that sales and marketing is still about relationships. We need to develop that relationship. But the great news is we can train AI models to know who we are, to know our tone, our style, our business. And then we can actually leverage AI, going back to the content marketing side, to create what I call AI assisted content that's more helpful to our audience. For me to sit down this morning and say, okay, I need to put a new blog post out today. I need to make sure it really resonates with my audience. I need to think about what are their pain points. I
Yeah.
need to go through that. Then I need to put it together and follow a good system or framework so that my message gets relayed properly. First of all, it's going to take 2 minutes time. And the reality is, as business owners, therefore we don't do it. It doesn't happen. But creating that communication, adding that value to my audience establishes me or you as the business owner as an expert. It builds your brand and makes you that go-to expert in the niche. Things like SEO and all that, they're changing nowadays. They're not going away, but they're changing. And that ability for you as a business to have your brand show up when people are looking for whatever it is that you do. I mean, you could be a roofer or an HVAC guy, or for that matter, you could be a chiropractor or a restaurant. It doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you're coming up and that you're showing up whenever people look for things. That is what drives trust, and that drives business as a result of that. And AI can help us in that tremendously, candidly, by just allowing us to create more helpful content. Notice I'm not just more content. The content has to be relevant and helpful. And as a result, then it resonates with our audience and they do more business with us.
Yeah, it's from the scripting to actually taking it to making a presentation to doing these trainings and video trainings, and now even taking it to the next level where you can use something like Synthesia, if I'm saying that
Hmm.
correctly, to clone yourself. I know people are very hesitant of that, but man, we got a business to run. I can't necessarily put out marketing nuggets every single day. But now I can have my clone and not say, "Hey, this is my AI assistant talking to you right now, giving you tons of marketing advice on a daily basis," versus me having to do that, which I need to be focusing on my clients and my team and other things that are more important necessarily in my mind than sitting in front of a camera pushing out content all day long. That's not the business I'm in. But
Exactly.
it has to be a part of what you're doing. Content this day and age is so incredibly important. Putting it out there to build trust and have those meaningful engagements and relationships, but nothing does take away from that human touch. And that's why, even as much as we're harnessing this, Every lead that comes into our business has our sales human person picking up the
Yes.
phone, smiling, dialing, trying to make that connection, finding out what they're trying to accomplish, finding out what their goals are, showing that we care and there is human
Hmm.
side of things on this as well. So pick and choose where you're using AI. I want to get into one little bonus nugget here and
Sure.
a personal question from myself and my team. Because right now we're in this place that I'm using one AI agent here and a different software here. Someone's using Copilot, like you said, as a team, and also having multiple clients. We're hearing more about AI agents.
Yes.
You can train them. What is your take on that? And is there one software app that you're seeing right now that would be like, hey, this is a great place to start for your team? You can load in specific things about a specific client and get them to really understand. So you're not having to repeat yourself 100 times to get to the same thing. They understand
Absolutely.
who our client is. Let's say we have a personal injury attorney. They know who that is. They're based in San Antonio. Here's their target audience. So now when I go in with a simple prompt, it's
Hmm.
already pulling in that data that we provided it. So is there any particular software that you're seeing shine above others to do that, or any other systems out there that you feel could help us and many other businesses out there?
Well, kind of going back to where we started, when it comes to basics, the tool you have is probably the best. Now, I think this is an area where ChatGPT really shines, and one of the reasons I encourage people to start with ChatGPT, because you can create custom trained versions of ChatGPT. They're called custom GPTs of all things that you can train. For example, you could have one for every client that you have. So when your team is going to create that next video for your client or whatever the case may be, instead of having to remember and go to the folder and upload all this information and tell the AI model about it, you literally can load that custom trained GPT that's trained on your customer. And
Okay.
then what's even cooler about that is, as an agency, you're talking about agencies, you can actually now have other GPTs that are trained on the processes you do. So you guys do a lot of video. How about storytelling, coming up with that story and that outline? Well, you could train a GPT on the way in which your team does that. Now I can combine those two together. So when I've got, Tampa Bay Chiropractic that I'm working with, just picking a name out of the
Sure.
air, and I need to do a video, I can pull up Tampa Bay Chiropractic, has all their information. I can then pull into that conversation the custom trained GPT that we have that does our scripting for us. And I can have it, it has now all of Tampa Bay Chiropractic's information. And it has our proprietary proven processes that we do. And now team members can create consistent value for your clients without constantly having to remember to do everything. And it really makes those, again, from a scalability, makes that work so much better. Google Gemini has a similar feature. It doesn't work quite as well. Claude has a similar feature. It doesn't work quite as well. So that's that. Now, you also mentioned agentic AI or agents, which
Yeah.
are just coming out right now.
Right.
And for people that don't know the difference, it's really simple. And if you're super technical, bear with me. I'm going to be 95% accurate, not 100% accurate. When we prompt, we basically give the model and tell it, here are the steps that we need to take, especially if we're doing it with automation. Here's the prompt, then do this, then do this. And we've got to lay all that out.
Right.
Not a problem. We do that in an SOP. Agentic AI or agents are really different in that we don't have to give them the details, we give them the goal. We basically say, I want to end up here. And they then decide and use logic to determine what steps do I need to follow in order to make that happen. For example, do I need to go research the web? Do I need to pull that data back in and then do an analysis? Based on that analysis, do I need to do something else? And instead of us laying out each of those steps, agents actually figure that out. And then the really cool thing is they go execute on it. There's a brand new tool out that's come out called Manus. I've started playing around with it. It's hard to get, by the way. It's in beta, depending on when you're listening to this. But Manus is really cool because Manus will decide, here's what I need to do. And if it gets to, say, a point that it needs you to log into, let's say, your Gmail account in order to do something with that, it just then notifies you and says, oh, okay, hang on. I'm going to hand control over to you. I need you to log into your Gmail account or your LinkedIn account or whatever. And then when you do that, it takes back over and continues to process what it was doing. And that's a whole nother level of AI from what we've been at for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's mind blowing what's going
It
on
is.
here, and it's just to consume it all. Again, don't get overwhelmed by this. There's
Oh,
people,
no.
Jonathan, on mastering the prompts and that type of focus. There's companies out there like us, dynamic marketing consultants, that are helping when it comes to streamlining your marketing and your messaging and your graphics and your videos. So I think harnessing the power of people out there that really are studying this on a regular basis, because it is evolving so freaking quickly. Before we head off, Jonathan, is there anything else, any other insights that you have that you'd like to share with our audience today?
I think more than anything, I want to share that AI amplifies skill and experience. I'm not a heart doctor. I can pretend to be one with AI, but if you let me cut open your chest, that would really not be a good idea. And that really stands true no matter what profession that you're in. This is not a tool that's going to allow your clients to stop working with you, unless it is, of course, you decide to ignore AI. AI is a tremendous tool to amplify the skill and experience that you have. Because I know, for example, Devin, you guys could create a far better video based on your skill sets than what I could do. So we can both use AI, and I might do okay, but I'm not going to come anywhere near to what you're capable of doing because of your skill and experience. And I want to encourage the business owners listening. That's why they don't need to be afraid of it. They just need to embrace it and learn how to use it.
Love that, man. That is some awesome game-changing nuggets there. I know that that's an AI word and phrase that's used way too much, so you may want to cut that out of your scripts. But we see every commercial on TV saying game-changing, but ultimately it is. I'm tired of that phrase, but it is pretty wild on what this can do for you and your business. Love what you shared and the nuggets that you shared today, Jonathan. How can people get a hold of you? Where should they follow you to get more of this information?
Well, I'm all about helping people get information. The best way to do it is remember my name. It's Jonathan Mast, M-A-S-T. If you go to jonathanmast.com/linktree, I've got tons of free resources and things like that to help out. I've got a few paid ones too, but there's tons of free stuff to help get your feet wet, determine what makes sense, and whether or not you like what this old guy with a white beard has to say.
I love what you had to say, and I want to continue our relationship. And that's why I love this nugget, because there's so much business that we do beyond this, whether it's referring people out,
Absolutely.
working together to enhance what we do. But yeah, anyone out there listening, be open-minded. Don't be so stuck in your ways. I have seen it time and time again, all different industries. If you're stuck in your ways, you're going to potentially lose out to people that are keeping up with what's going on. So definitely continue your education out there, continue to harness this power. Answers are now only a few keystrokes away. So go out there and use this. I'll have all of Jonathan's information in our description. Thanks again for being here, man. Really great to meet you, and look forward to harnessing
Ditto.
all your nuggets that you provided us in our business. And I hope people out there do the same.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, that's a wrap of another great DMC Marketing Nugget. Go ahead and hit that like and follow button. Listen on your favorite streaming apps and visit DMC Marketing Nugget to catch all of our past shows. Here's to your success.